afternoon, good evening, whatever time you are listening to today's podcast episode, the final episode, episode number 46, entitled Journee Released from Jail. Y'all, it's been 46 weeks since I started this process, and I am so grateful and so thankful for each and every one of you that supported, that viewed, that liked, that downloaded the podcast, that was just on this journey with me as I share my story with you. So I cannot thank you enough. I cannot express my ultimate and sincere gratitude for you just walking this journey with me. And so I thank you so very much. Now, before we go into today's final podcast episode, I want to have a quick behind the scenes conversation with y'all because as you can see, my hair is in an afro and I hardly ever wear my hair in an afro. And it's because I feel like I don't know how to manage it, or sometimes I just don't think it looks right on me. But that's neither here nor there. However, as I was getting, prepared for today's podcast episode, I found myself trying to like tame it and, put it back and make sure it's like controlled and it was slicked back. But something inside of me said, don't hide who God created you to be. And so I want to encourage you, if you have natural hair like me and you're just trying to tame it and comb it back and hide it, or if you feel like you are just in a new season in your life where you're feeling really good about yourself, confident, beautiful, lovely, you feel like you're in the shape that you want to be in, do not hide who God created you to be. I want to encourage you to truly step out into who you are and how God made you. Now, let's go into today's podcast episode 46, Journee is Released from Jail. Whew, y'all, this was a long time coming for Journee, especially since she had been going through so much with Case. She had gotten to a point where she had it up to here and she could not take it anymore. So if you did not watch last week's episode number 45 entitled Ghetto Hot Entanglement Mess, make sure you go and check it out because the story will all make sense. So Journee ends up in jail, y'all. Journee goes to jail. Now, that was the last place Journee thought she would ever end up at, ever in her life, especially by the hands of somebody she loved. She never thought that would have happened to her. She felt like things were okay in her life, right? She was a college graduate. She had great friends. She wasn't in the best place in life, but she also wasn't in the worst place in life. But not only that, Journee actually had the two people that was closest to her betray her. And that was in the mindset of Journee when she went to jail. So Journee fell asleep on that cold, hard metal bed, and she was officially behind bars. So morning came, and Journee woke up to a loud banging noise. It was the officer banging on her jail cell with his stick, his club stick, his nightstick. So he's banging on it very loudly in the morning to wake Journee up as he is walking by. So Journee is sleeping and she hears this noise and she wakes up, not even realizing what is going on or what's happening. So when Journee woke up, her coils, her hair was disheveled. It was matted and it was dry because, yeah, she was sleeping on that hard, cold metal bed. So she woke up with her hair all over the place. She really wasn't processing everything that had gone on in that quick moment. Her eyes were red and puffy from crying all night, and her body was just so sore because she slept on that hard, cold metal bed. So the officer tells her that she is being released from jail. So Journey could not jump up from that bed quick enough. She was ready to get out of there. As she was getting out of the jail cell and the officer was unlocking the door, she wondered in her mind who bailed her out. So Journey followed the police officer to the front so that she could gather her items and run for her life, literally. So when she grabbed her stuff, she ran as quickly as possible to get out of that jail cell. When she ran outside, guess who she sees? Yes, she sees her best friend, Izzy. Y'all, Journey had gone through a journey. It was not easy. Now, before I make a couple of more announcements, here is today's podcast episode affirmation. And that is, when God releases you from something, don't you ever, ever go back. God knows exactly how to release you from things you don't belong in or part of. God knows who to utilize to release you. God knows when to release you. God knows all those things when we find ourselves in the midst of chaos, trouble, and storms. He knows just how to release us. And for Journey, she had been so deep into this situation with Case, she had no idea what it was going to take for God to release her from that toxic relationship. And sometimes, unfortunately, this is the reality of life. Things have to get extremely bad for us to be removed from situations. But take courage, because when things go really bad or have to become really bad for God to release us, just know that He will give us the strength and the power and the courage to get through it, to endure it, and to find ourselves pushing through and persevering through it. It's just like the analogy of a woman giving birth, right? In order for her to feel some relief, she has to release the baby out of her birthing canal, out of her womb. And it's the same thing. You have to go through a moment of pain, of heartache, of contractions, of screaming, of hollering, of your body going through physical changes. For those of you who are mothers and grandmothers, you literally have to go through a painful change in order to release what is inside of you or what the next phase of your life is going to be. And that's exactly what God did for Journey. When He released her, it was painful. When He released her, it was hurtful. When He released her, it was heartbreaking. And so if you are in a season of God releasing you from something and it's a little hard to endure, know that God will give you the grace, the strength, the courage to go through it. Again, today's affirmation, I cannot stress it enough. When God releases you from something, never go back. God has so much in store for you. All right, beautiful people. I am so excited. It is the final episode of Life After Hurt podcast. And you guys have been journeying with me for all this time. So special shout out to Journee. Journee, you have been so consistent with hearing my stories, downloading the podcast episode, and just walking this journey with me. I thank you so much. If I ever visit Germany, I would love to meet whoever you are. So thank you, Germany. Thank you, New York. Thank you, Atlanta, Georgia, New Jersey. Can't forget about my hometown, New Jersey, New York, California, the South Africa, the Philippines, all over the world. All of you have just made my heart smile with your support and you tuning in to hear about my story, Life After Hurt. All right, guys, check out the next episode, not next episode, but the next outro. I want to share some highlights with you on my journey of Life After Hurt. So make sure you tune in and check it out. And if you have not subscribed to any of my platforms, make sure you go and subscribe on my YouTube page, my Instagram page, my Facebook page, and Buzzsprout, which is all Nicole and Sweeney, or do a search for Life After Hurt. All right, good people. Until then, stay tuned. I look forward to connecting with you all again. I hope that you've enjoyed this process, this journey, this storytelling, and the story of Journee Black. Always, always remember that God is proud of you. See you soon, guys.